It's noon here in Ventnor, New Jersey, and this is news that you can use from CarEdge with your hosts, Ray and Zach. And this is, well, news that you can use for Thursday, April 13th. And apparently, my son made it back from St. Louis all in one piece.
Did indeed. Had a fantastic time hanging out with Kelly, the car mom, Liz, and Tyler as well. Awesome trip. Really exciting things on the horizon. Before we get there, Dad, we need to talk about Ram, Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler. We could have thrown Buick in there as well, and a few other OEMs. The latest data from Cox Automotive, another bright, good sign for consumers, Dad. Prices will be coming down in the near future, saith I, because
Yes.
new vehicle inventory rises the highest level in 2 years. I don't have the soundboard today, Dad, but let's do a woohoo!
Woo! Woo!
Woohoo! That's good, man.
No, that's good news. And if you would remember, and I don't know that you do, but I have been predicting for quite some time now that the new normal for inventory levels will be somewhere between 2 million and 2.4 million new vehicles in dealership inventory on a monthly basis. And so we're just finally starting to approach what I think will be the new normal.
We got some woohoos going on in
Yeah.
the chat as well. Now, Dad, the headline of today's show is talking about a few specific automakers. We are going to jump there and then we'll come back up because this report is chock full of that good data. But we will start
Yes.
at this chart. See what
Nice
I did there?
chart.
Rhymed a little.
Yes.
Start at the chart, Dad. The automakers that have the least amount of inventory. Same story, month in, month out. You're looking for a Toyota, a Kia, a Lexus, Lotus. That's a new one. A Honda,
Yeah.
a Subaru, a BMW, Land Rover Mini, Hyundai, Volkswagen, or Chevrolet vehicle. They have less days supply of inventory than average. Can you explain, Dad, what days supply is and why it's so important?
Well, it's based on your daily sales rate. And so what they're saying is that the inventory on hand on a national level, based on this daily sales rate, would take 56 days to sell out. Now, when you look at someone like Toyota or Kia, where they're under 30-day supply, so they've got about half of what the national average is.
And this is for new vehicles, and y'all know
Yes.
me. You know I love to test this stuff. Let's come into CarEdge, and let's look at a new. Let's do new, and let's do a Toyota, Dad. Name a Toyota.
Corolla? A Corolla?
All right, we're going to try our best to find a Corolla here, folks. Oh, I must have clicked off of new. There we go. New Toyota Corollas. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona, everyone.
Yeah.
Let's see what market conditions are like in Scottsdale. I think this is probably overstated. Our data says there's a 47-day supply, 154 in the market for sale, and 146 have sold in the last 45 days. I bet you these are all overstated because so many of these
Are in
probably
transit.
don't. Yeah, they're probably in transit. Like this
Yes.
thing doesn't. But then, Dad,
Yes.
if we were to look back at our charts, that's an example with Toyota. I think the
Yes.
numbers are a little overstated. We
Yes.
look to the right of the national average, that nice lime green, not sponsored by Sprite, excuse me, or Mountain Dew. You've got, Dad, brands that have more supply than the national average or more days supply than the national average. You've got Porsche, Nissan, Cadillac, Mitsubishi, Mercedes-Benz, Mazda,
Yes.
Acura, GMC, Genesis, Audi. Then there's a divide. Then there's a chasm. Then you bump up.
Yes.
If you're
Big
looking
time.
for, if you're looking for a Lincoln, Dodge, Infiniti, Jaguar, Chrysler, Jeep, Buick, or Ram, those dealers have more inventory than they know what to do with right now. That's what this chart is showing us.
Yes. So going back to your CarEdge tool, if you put in some type of Jeep, what would it show?
What do you want to do? A Jeep?
Wrangler. How about a Wrangler?
Wrangler.
Yeah, they're popular.
Works for me. Pull up new ones here. All right. And look at this. They're all in transit. Market day supply of a Jeep Wrangler in Scottsdale, Arizona is 145 days.
Well,
So there
there
you go.
you
It
have it.
starts to put into perspective the two very different auto markets right now. And then we'll spend time going into more of the Cox data here in just a second. I want to get your general overview, Pops, but we'll go into some of the different geographic areas that are
Yes.
experiencing more and less supply. But overall, Dad, inventories, I think we can say it broadly, are building up.
Well, yeah, you can broadly in broad terms, yes. In raw numbers, yes. We have seen it. I mean, at this time last year, maybe we were sitting at what 1.1 or 1.2 million cars in the inventory or in transit for a given month.
Let me give
And
you the exact number, Dad. Supply is up 70% or 780,000 vehicles year over year.
okay, so it was running closer to a million. So yeah, I mean this is good news. Now, there there could be any number of reasons as to why this is happening. One is that supply chain issues have mitigated to a degree, but I think more importantly is that more and more people have taken themselves out of the market to buy vehicles because they're just no longer affordable, even with prices coming down slightly. Rising interest rates have made the monthly payment less and less affordable for more and more people. So, if you're trying to sell cars to a much smaller market, the number of cars is going to build up, I believe. Now, should we extrapolate from that we should be seeing higher incentives in many cases, greater motivation on a seller's part to negotiate a deal with you. Um, the We could maybe possibly kiss a deal or additional markups going away, especially on the brands that have way too much inventory. Yeah, those things are more than likely to happen. But there's others that are still in short supply. You ain't going to see that on a Toyota.
Now, here wow, I love you. I love you for so many reasons, but I love you especially because you just ended that sentence with you aren't going to see that on a Toyota. Look at this, Dad. We help, if you're unfamiliar at CarEdge, this is what we do. We help thousands of people every month buy a car. That's what we do. Here is a deal that our team is working on right now, Dad. For what? A 2023 Toyota Tacoma. And what do you see there?
I see a big discount.
I see a big discount. So this is how granular the market is right now. It's brand specific, it's location specific, geographic specific.
Absolutely.
It is model specific, Dad. If you're looking for a Toyota Tacoma, you can get $2,500 off. That is insane. We weren't saying that in the past. If you're looking for a Toyota Prius, you're looking for a Prius Prime, you're looking for a RAV4 Prime. Look at that, Dad. Look at that. Yeah. 26% off was one of the deals we wanted. 26%.
That'd be like a lot, isn't it?
What does that say about the MSRP of Ram 1500s?
It says it's highly inflated.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it says.
But these things are regionalized, and that is part of the data
Absolutely.
that we have here from Cox Automotive. Dad, let's take a peek at that. Let me pull it up on the screen. Give me one moment. Hit the button. There we go. Supply shows wide variation by brand, segment, price, and region. At the close of March, the industry had non-luxury vehicle inventory totaling 1.6 million, up from 1.53 million at the end of February for a 55-day supply. The inventory of luxury vehicles, excluding Uber luxury, stood at 290,000, up from 271,000, a 60-day supply. Import non-luxury and luxury brands had the lowest inventories. The highest inventories were on a mix of domestic brands dominated by Stellantis brands and a mix of luxury makes. Like we've been talking about here, non-luxury brands with the lowest inventory, Toyota and Kia. You've got Honda, Subaru, Hyundai, Volkswagen, and Chevrolet. I think they get into it here. Where was it? Oh, down below. We got that. 30 best cars. Here we go. By DMA.
Yes.
Which are the marketing areas.
Yes.
Florida, California, and southern DMAs had the lowest supply. Northern ones had the highest. Miami, Fort Lauderdale had the lowest inventory, followed by Orlando, Daytona Beach, Los Angeles, Tampa, and Atlanta, all less than 55 days supply. Minneapolis and Detroit had the highest, followed by Boston and Denver. Can you read into this, Dad, and essentially say those are the worst places to try and get a deal on a car right now versus the best places to try and get a deal on a car right now?
Oh, absolutely. And I can assure you at the moment, with the flooding that has taken place in Fort Lauderdale, that day supply of cars is going to go down rapidly, because God knows how many of those cars that people were driving in those floodwaters today are going to end up being totaled. So yes, it's very regionalized. If you live in the South, if you live in Florida, you live in Southern California, you are not going to see the same things as what people in Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Boston, or Detroit might see. It all goes back to the basics of economics, and that's supply and demand. And if you live in an area where there's limited supply and strong demand, the prices are going to remain high. If you happen to live in a northern area where the supply is massive and the demand is down, well, guess what? The prices are going to come down. It's just there are certain things that are just so, and that's one of them. So yes, I get it. We go through different things, and people say, "Well, it's not happening in my area." Okay, it's not. It's not happening in certain areas. It's happening to a great degree in other areas, and we readily state that it's regionalized and localized, and you have to take all that into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. The trend, however, is national. We are seeing the impacts of improved supply chains and improved capacities to produce vehicles. The first flag that could have been waved on that end was when GM intentionally stopped production of some of their trucks to try and mitigate oversupply in certain regions. So we are certainly seeing what I'm calling it a turning of the tide in the auto market. We've spent 3 years essentially being price gouged, and now we're back. I think we're not there yet, but we're the teeter totter has teetered. As the educated
I
folks
think
say.
what you're trying to say is we're teetering on the brink of a decline.
No, I'm gonna stand by the teeter totter teetered, Pops. I think that's really.
Yeah, because most people couldn't say that, say 3 times in a hurry. The teeter totter teetered, the teeter totter teetered, the teeter totter teetered. I, unfortunately, have the ability to say the teeter totter teeter rapidly and for no reason at all.
Man. Tim's got a good question. I wonder if the high inventory in Detroit is primarily GM and Ford's being headquartered there. I do wonder a little bit. I wonder why we have that as the DMA where there's the most vehicles.
Because it's a colder climate.
They don't sell as much.
Yeah, we're getting into the slower spring selling season than what we had seen in the past. But yet, when you look at the statistics that you were going over, the seasonally adjusted sales rate for March was what, at 14.8 or 14.9 million cars.
14.9 million, which is down significantly from where we started the year. They thought 16.2 at the beginning of the year.
Well, but March was the first month this year where new car sales exceeded 1 million vehicles sold in the month of March. Now, having said that, that's because fleet sales were up, and the retail side of things really are somewhat stagnant. And we're not seeing any real growth on the retail side of things. We might even be seeing a little bit of recession, receding sales on the retail side of things.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that, Pops. So we have from all of the automakers their first quarter results, and it really does seem like fleet transactions saved the day. Like that's what it was. New car sales rose, but it's because fleet sales picked up.
Well, and it's been through the first quarter of the year, fleet sales is what's holding up the market. It is not the retail side of things where it's going well. which is why in some regions you can get deals on new cars if you are a retail customer, and in some areas you cannot.
Yeah, 100%. You want another example of a deal, Pops? I'm so proud of our team behind the scenes here. I mean,
Yes.
these are the things that are possible when you put knowledge into power. And here it is, Dad. We've got over 21% off on a Buick Encore, even when you add back all the crapola. A lot of line
Uh-huh.
items here from this dealership. But even when you add back in everything, it's about 15% off of MSRP, Dad, on a Buick Encore. So I'm not saying necessarily that Buick Encores are the car for everyone,
Yeah.
but 15% off on a vehicle transaction and it's at that price point for a new car. I mean, like, let that sit in for a moment. That's
And
kind of incredible.
if I'm not mistaken, excuse me, Buick had the highest on-hand day supply. No, I'm sorry, it was Ram that had the highest. Buick had the second highest. So that just indicates, 26% off of Ram pickup truck in Phoenix yesterday.
This was also
20,
in Phoenix, this
yeah,
Buick deal.
21% off of a Buick in Phoenix yesterday, and those are the brands with the two highest day supply.
Folks, head to Phoenix. Head to Phoenix, all right? Head to
Yes.
Phoenix. Enjoy the warm weather and go ahead and get yourself a car deal. Pops, can you hit me with a sound bite, because we got to talk about a state where we're not going to buy a car.
Yes, and so the soundbite would be, really, you gotta be kidding me. It hit 100 in Phoenix yesterday.
It did. Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, and yesterday was only the 12th of April. That's pretty
All right,
early.
folks. This was provided to us via the interwebs. Here we go. Actually, let me pull it up this way. This is the worst car deal I have ever seen. Truly, I have ever seen. And there's so many pieces
Yes,
to dig in here. 2023 Chevy Bolt EUV. The market value selling price. All right. Market value selling price is $29,875. I tried to corroborate if that's the real MSRP, and I couldn't figure it out. It could actually be the real MSRP. Okay?
I would be guessing that it is.
I think it is.
Yes,
We've got, I'm going to just read off the items. Let me just read off the items, then you can read
yes,
off. We've got Clear Pro, all caps, door edge and handle guards for $700.
yes.
We've
Now,
got,
can I say
go
that
for it.
those door edge guards and handle guards, that's setting that dealership back, maybe 50, $75.
We've got now express theft code, theft deterrent, 3-year 5,000 reimbursement,
Known
for
as window
$700.
etch, and that should set back the dealership, I don't know, $50. Although you could buy it on Amazon for 20 and do it yourself.
We've got red alert rear collision deterrent, which is $800.
Yes,
Sealajet ceramic clear coat paint protection for $600.
yeah,
Family Link Spartan GPS for 5 years, which is $1,500.
yes,
My favorite on this
yes.
list, the catalytic converter protection, which last time I checked, you don't need on an EV, but you keep me honest here.
I'm pretty sure you don't. Yeah, I think the catalytic converters are for your ICE vehicles.
Then you've got, obviously, you're going to have your dock fee, which is
Yeah,
the giveaway that this is in California. California
yes,
caps the dock fee at $85. Taxes, non-tax fees. Then, Dad, you've got $6,000
yes,
in F&I products on the
yes,
front end of this car deal. A $4,500. And you know what? I love doing stuff live. We're gonna
yes.
test this one live. $4,500 is what they want for a Bolt. Let me
Yeah,
grab. Let's do it this way. Let's
yeah.
go
Put in
here.
do you have the VIN? Let's put in
I
the
don't
VIN.
have the VIN for that vehicle, but I want to do here. Bolt. Chevy Bolt EUV.
Yeah,
We need 2023. Jeez Louise, they are marking these things up, man.
yeah,
If I scroll down on the VDP, I should be able to get. Cool. There's the warranty price, folks.
yeah.
There's the warranty price.
Wow.
What? So
Well,
our price is $1,760.
yes.
Their price is $4,500.
Okay, but the price for door edge was what, or for etch was $700, and it cost them 50. I mean, yeah, yeah, they're trying to make a few bucks. I mean, come on, it's America, it's capitalism, buddy. I mean, the only reason they made that multi-million-dollar investment to have a facility like that is, well, so they could take advantage of people and make that money back. It's America. It's capital. It's the way we live. It's what separates us from the rest of. It's what makes us great.
Help me
Okay.
out with one more thing, Pops.
Yes. Yes.
How does that math work?
What?
MSRP $31,965. Get
Yeah.
out of here, guy. I don't want to
Yeah.
chat with you right now.
Yeah.
Addendum $2,500.
Well, you
Price
could chat with you. You could ask
57,000.
him. You could just ask him, how does that math work?
What?
Yeah. Well, there must be. What, click on the information button for addendum. What does it say?
Okay, let's go check it out. Let's see. Just says $2,500.
Market adjustments. So where's the other 2,500 coming? 25,000 coming?
Yeah,
from?
where's the 25,000 coming from? Incredible, man. Like, I get it. I get why the dealer's marking it up. I mean, I'm not an idiot. Like, I understand it, but like stuff like that, just yeah, nuts, man. Nuts. Truly nuts.
It is, and you tweeted that, and I responded by saying there are those in the industry who wonder why, as a former dealership manager, why I bash car dealers. That's why, because there are car dealers out there, maybe not the one you're working at, whoever's making those comments to me.
Yeah.
But there are car dealers out there that are doing that are whose greed overwhelms their thinking. It's a short-term gain for a long-term loss. There was recently, we talked about it last week. There was recently a study that was done that said,
Yeah.
gee, when people feel like they're overpaying, they don't feel loyal to who it is that they overpaid to, and that they don't want to come back to those dealers. This is the perfect example of that. There's no need for that. There are enough legitimate ways, maybe by actually trying to sell the stuff, by going over the features of it and the benefit of it, and then maybe actually charging a reasonable retail price for it. But there are ways to run an automobile dealership that you can treat people honestly and fairly. You can respect them. You can show them some respect by doing it honestly and fairly and transparently, without just out and out trying to rip people off. And so, yes, I bash dealers for that. And I bash dealers for that because they deserve it when they do things like that. And if you work at a dealership that does not, God bless you. I'm proud of you. And don't ever go to a dealership that does things like this. But, there's a high percentage of people in the car business that unfortunately work for dealerships that operate like this. And I don't want to hear from you, well, you shouldn't bash us. No, I should. You deserve to be bashed. You actually deserve to go out of business because you're not taking care of a customer. You're not realizing that these are the people that put food on your table.
Yeah, what should happen is all of the people that operate in ways where they manipulate and take advantage of people and things like that, those are the dealers that should not be around a decade from now. The dealers who treat people fairly and have repeat customers for life and people who never go, those are the dealers that should be getting all of those other people's business. And you know what? It'll be a way more efficient market. Everything will be better. Yeah, it seems
And
like a no-brainer.
if I may, Zach, the gentleman that shared that worksheet with us, if he knows that dealership, if he was the one who actually was shopping at that dealership, I would love for him to go into our dealership reviews and post that. I don't just want people to post where they bought cars. I want people to post where they shopped for cars and why they didn't buy at those dealerships where they shopped for cars. And so that this is the perfect example of something that should be shared in our dealership reviews so that it can be seen by anyone who has an interest in finding a good dealer versus a bad dealer.
Absolutely, Dad. And I will make note, I added a new column to the spreadsheet here. You now have a dealer state column. This is all work in progress. We're just collecting the data for now, and then we will be finding good ways to present this information. But now you can at least sort and filter by state. So, for example, we can sort this by, let's do Z to A. There we go. So now you can see here dealers that are in Washington or Virginia or Utah, or quite a few already in Texas, people who are somewhat satisfied, extremely satisfied. And if you scroll over to the right, I know it's not the most beautiful yet, but you can scroll over and you can start to understand why. Did they sell you the car at MSRP, below or above? Did they allow you to get a pre-purchase inspection? Did they force add-ons? What were the add-ons? Is there anything else you want to tell us? Did you trade in a vehicle? Like, lots of good information here that the community should be sharing to support one another so that we can champion the good dealers. Earl Stewart, I'm thinking of you, and we can help people avoid the dealers that are wasting your time, because that's really what it is. It's a waste of everyone's time.
And if people will put that information in there, what it does is you won't ever have to run away from a dealer that you didn't bother to go into because you knew beforehand what type of business practices they employed. So it saves everybody time. And Igor says it well.
We'll get people wearing "I'm with CarEdge" pins, Pops.
Yeah. That'll set these dealers straight. But Igor says it well. I hate when people label all dealers as thieves, but those bad dealers are the root cause why dealers get labeled as thieves and destroy the reputation of good dealers. And I will say that is absolutely true. I ran dealerships. I didn't run dealerships in an underhanded manner. Was my job to make sure that the dealerships were profitable? Absolutely. Profit is not a nasty word. Dealerships are entitled to make a profit. It's the way they go about making a profit that I oftentimes disagree with, and that Igor would disagree with. Not every dealership is a bad dealership. The shop stores in Colorado, they're negotiation-free stores. Earl Stewart in South Florida. There are dealerships out there that will do it the right way and realize that if you sell many people many cars, you can stay in business a very, very long time and make a very nice living. It doesn't have to be based on gouging people to see how much you can make from that one customer the only time they're going to be your customer.
And on that note, we'll call it a show. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And we'll have Miss Kimberly Klein with us as well. Well said, Pops. Everything was well said.
And what time in Alaska?
Here, I don't know.
It's 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Hey, if we can help you, go check out CarEdge.com. Everything we've got to offer to help is back there. Please be a part of the community and please support everyone as they're hopefully going to start getting some better deals over the next few months here.
That's the hope. If the stats keep coming in the way the stats are coming in, I guess I might have to reevaluate my position, but I still want to wait and see what it looks like moving forward and how much of and it would be 6 a.m. Hawaiian time. And before I commit to saying that prices are really going to come down, but the indicators are there that they should.
The teeter-tottering is teetering, and who knows?
Yes.
We might have to update our positions.
Yeah, it could be that the teeter-totter is teetering and the prices are plunging.
All right, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Pops.
Absolutely. Have a great day, everybody.